On today's show, we give your relationship a boost, spice up your wardrobe, and
It's like, I got the back door.
Absolutely.
explore the hidden side of national parks.
The locals, as tour guides, know this place better than anybody else.
Plus, light up a different kind of sauna.
Professional athletes use this as a part of their regular wellness routine.
But up first, why improv isn't just for comedy. It's your life, it's your list, and it starts right now.
Hey everyone, I'm Christina Guerrero.
And I'm Jimmy Rhodes. And KG, we've all heard of big Hollywood stars who come from improv comedy backgrounds.
That's right, Melissa McCarthy, Keegan-Michael Key, Stephen Colbert, Amy Poehler. That's just for starters.
But here's what you might not know. The skills you learn from improv can improve your life no matter what you do. Why we should all take an improv class. It's our featured story at the top of the list.
That's impossible.
That's impossible.
Ugh, you're such a dweeb.
You probably recognize actor Mark Evan Jackson from shows such as Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
A dirtbag is a useful part of a vacuum. I don't see how it's an insult.
Parks and Recreation,
Check the accountant crap at the door.
and The Good Place.
I don't want just any wasp nostrils. I want these wasp nostrils.
But when he's not being hilarious for a national audience,
This is legally called wine drink.
he's pouring his passion into his nonprofit, the Detroit Creativity Project, which teaches the art of improvisation to students.
Who are all these people? Where did you come from?
They see the fun that their classmates are having, and then the earbuds come out and the hoods come down, and they put down their phone and they start paying more attention, and they get involved.
It's helping students.
It's improved attendance, it's improved test scores, and there's been a 40% reduction in social anxiety, social phobia, and depression.
And it can help you, too.
No matter what your age is, what your educational background is, what you do for a living, what you hope to do for a living, everyone on the planet should improvise.
We're running down the benefits of improv. For starters, it makes you a better listener.
A lot of the time in conversation, people are waiting to say their part, and they're not really listening to what you have to say.
But really listening is crucial to improvisation because
One of the biggest tenets of improv is called yes and. It means that you have to agree with what's going on and accept it, and add to it.
so if a scene partner says you're on Mars, you have to build on that reality by saying something like, yeah, and there's the Starbucks.
In improv, all you have is what the other person is saying, so you have to listen to it.
And that deep listening makes you more empathetic.
Because in order to succeed, you have to see things from their perspective. Otherwise, it's just an argument, and the scene won't go anywhere.
Any kind of acting requires you to play the role of someone else, but improv goes even further. You have to accept reality as it's presented to you by any of your scene partners.
So what it teaches you is to accept more than you would in real life. And a lot of that moves into your real life. Improv teaches you to ask questions and to be curious. Then you no longer are saying, cool, thank you, please don't tell me anything more. You're saying, I don't know anything about that. Tell me everything. So it teaches perspective and it teaches empathy. And it makes you curious, which makes your life a lot better.
Next, improv teaches you to face risk with a sense of play.
I mean, you're making stuff up out of nowhere, and a lot of it's not going to work. And you realize that failure is not a lasting condition. Failure on an improv stage is not fatal.
And some of those risks result in laughs, which are simply thrilling to receive.
You'll make the best friends of your life because you are learning something new, and you'll be vulnerable, and you'll learn to embrace how silly it is. It's just fun.
So go ahead, find a class.
Most cities have at least a small improv community these days, and most of those improv communities have a training center where they will welcome you in to take classes, sometimes just a workshop. And Google improv classes near me. I promise you, it will change your life.
The benefits of improv are at the top of the list.
Well, if you're thinking of joining the millions of people who visit our national parks this year, there's something you can do to elevate the experience even more. I mean, talk about a bucket list moment for me. We went to the Grand Canyon to learn how a guided tour can make a park experience even better.
National parks are an experience on their own, but why not take that experience to a whole new level with a little help?
We guides just know the better spots to go away. Most of the people are like at the viewpoint, take their pictures, off they go. So we say, come, let's go around here.
Yeah, it's like, I got the back door.
Absolutely, yes. All these different rock layers that we see out in the canyon.
To learn the secrets and benefits behind why you should consider a guided tour when visiting a national park, we traveled to the Grand Canyon to talk with tour guide Sheila Abbott. First, what to expect.
We load up on our truck and then we start a drive through our beautiful Kaibab National Forest.
No matter what park you're at, with a guide, you'll be getting insight about the area. the history, and more.
As we're driving through the forest, I point out different things. I tell you about flora, fauna, the different types of trees, what are edible here, and everything else other than the seed is edible. So you eat a few, they'll ease your stomach. So once we get back on paved road, and then we hit one of our overlooks, then we get out of the truck, walk all together to the first overlook into the canyon. I especially like it when the people have never seen the canyon before. They're just in awe. This is incredible. It's just so much nicer, and answer many questions, especially from kids when they're very excited.
With a guide, you're getting a unique experience without the hassle of planning.
Going there by yourself, by foot, seeing, been there, done that, gone. With a guided land tour, it's a totally different experience. This canyon wall here to the left is also called the Bucky O'Neill Butte.
Also, the locals, as tour guides, know this place better than anybody else. Another reason why you should do a guided tour.
Absolutely, yes, because all the tour guides here are local.
Sure.
Yes, and we live this life every day. That's not a horse, that's a mule.
Since you're with an expert, you'll also get to see things off the typical path and areas that might not be accessible to the public.
And also the animals, like you're not gonna see the animals up close and personal when you're maybe up there, but like when you're going through these guided tours, we're taking back roads. We're seeing a different view than anybody else.
There's a great overlook here. Look at this.
And if you're curious what you might need to bring on a tour,
Closed shoes are good. Some snacks might always be good. Some salty with some sweet, especially if you have kids. A jacket if you prefer. They're still cold. But in general, we provide water, a blanket for everybody.
And a good time.
And a good time, absolutely. This viewpoint is called Duck on the Rock.
our tour was 3 hours long and filled with amazing views, incredible knowledge, and unforgettable memories. We're getting ready to explore with a guided tour.
Marriage, the new BBC One drama about a 27-year partnership, has been called, and this is a quote, one of the most willfully mundane depictions of marriage ever committed to the screen. And that's a good thing. Contrary to popular belief, relationships don't need drama. Aditi Jamal looks at the bliss of boredom.
Love can be full of romantic evenings, fun-filled days, and action-packed adventures. But when it's full of drama, that's exhausting.
A good relationship can be as simple as you doing the dishes with your partner or chilling on the couch, saying nothing and being totally fine with it.
Online relationship expert Carmelia Ray has some ways to make sure your spouse is a source of serenity, not drama. You've probably heard the phrase opposites attract. Not so fast. Instead, try birds of a feather flock together.
The myth that opposites attract can be true when a relationship is based on lust, and maybe if you're looking for a part-time lover.
You may think you want a partner that can help fill a void.
Somebody who's an extrovert and they're an introvert.
Instead, she says you should look for key core compatibilities, like how you spend money, how you want to raise your kids, and views of life and health.
Those are the things that matter versus opposing personality traits. But at the end of the day, that soulmate ends up being your cellmate.
When you're in that cell, communication is key. So practice reflective listening.
Reflective listening is a key to having relationships last because most people listen to respond. They're not even hearing what their partner's saying.
Instead, listen intently, reflecting back to them, paraphrasing to make sure you got their message clear.
It could be as simple as, okay, so you're picking up our daughter at 5 and I'm going to then meet you at the dance recital.
For this to succeed, you also need to understand your roles.
There are situations like having kids, getting a new job, a global pandemic, where things might shift your world upside down.
Without discussing what your roles are going to be now and in the future,
when something changes, you're going to end up with a lot of confusion and potentially more fights.
Partners tend to fall into roles based on tradition or one person's expectations.
If a woman is working, is the man automatically expected to take on the domestic duties? That might seem the logical thing to do, but if it's not discussed, there could be resentments there.
If you do find yourself disagreeing about something, remember to fight fair.
Set some ground rules about how you're going to communicate, to not yell, to practice reflective listening.
And don't start an important conversation if you're not both in a place emotionally to respect each other.
You definitely want to find a way to make things work.
Sameness sounds like lameness, but it may be the magic formula for marriage.
Still to come on the list.
You're going to get warm, but you don't have that same stifling response.
Try a sauna that got its start in space.
Those infrared light waves, they're going to heat your core body temperature up 3 degrees.
Plus, discover hot new looks on TikTok.
Let's jump into what I would wear as a curvy woman wedding guest edition.
And
now I had the time of my life.
Have some good, clean fun with Dirty Dancing. All that and more next.
Welcome back, friends. All right, there is a new trend that seems to be popping up everywhere these days. Infrared saunas.
Okay, it sounds a bit exotic, maybe even a little scary, but a lot of people who have done it seem to be excited about the results.
Yeah, so we wanted to know what the big deal is and exactly what goes on in those places.
Addy D. Jamal's turning up the heat with the benefits of infrared saunas.
Infrared saunas promise to help your health by using visible and non-visible light.
This is something that can benefit anyone of any age.
To shine light on this hot trend, we met up with Maureen Zeppa, owner of Perspire Sauna in Paradise Valley, Arizona. Let's begin with the history.
It was actually discovered in the 1800s, but it really didn't become prominent until the 1980s when NASA began to use this technology to try to grow potatoes on the space shuttle.
Really? New meaning to hot potato.
Exactly. And what they discovered was as the astronauts had their hands in the infrared and in the potatoes, they discovered that it was healing infection and wounds on their hands. And so there are healing properties that were discovered, and it took infrared light in a whole new direction.
Next, even though they may seem the same, there are distinct differences between saunas and infrared saunas.
The way that they've done sauna historically is heating the air around you.
So typically in a normal sauna, I probably tap out around 10, 12 minutes. What's the recommended time in here?
We offer 40-minute sessions, and we find that most of our members do full 40 minutes.
Maureen says one of the reasons you can stand the heat longer in an infrared sauna is the temperature doesn't go as high as a typical sauna.
When you're in an infrared sauna, those infrared light waves, they're going to heat your core body temperature up 3 degrees, creating the sweat response, which is very detoxifying.
But don't worry, Maureen says it's not too hot.
What we hear from people who use traditional saunas is it's very stifling, kind of hard to breathe, right? And I think that's a common response. This isn't like that. You're going to get warm, but you don't have that same stifling response.
Which leads us to the health benefits.
It eases pain, decreases inflammation. So professional athletes use this as a part of their regular wellness routine. It creates a false fever in your body, which amplifies your immune response and fights infection.
Plus, Maureen says it's a bit of a workout.
While you're sitting here for your 40-minute session, you're going to burn 200 to 400 calories.
Infrared saunas may even help you get more Z's.
It does so many good things for your body to just bring it to a level that is very relaxing. We see people after they've had a session, and we call it that post-sauna brain fog, and that's exactly what it does. It relaxes you so much that you are able to sleep better.
And infrared saunas may help your skin by
reducing wrinkles, tone and elasticity, texture.
So it's like a fountain of youth or sauna of youth in a way.
Oh, maybe.
Infrared saunas bringing a rainbow of benefits.
It's New York Fashion Week, and that means your favorite influencers are loading up on all the latest styles. Teresa Strasser looks at some TikTok influencers tracking the trends. Teresa.
Thank you. With over 5 million followers combined, these fashion TikTok experts are helping all of us keep up to date with the latest in fashion. Coming in at number 1, Hannah Harrell.
Let's pick out an outfit to go to dinner and take some photos.
Hannah's down-to-earth, get ready with me videos help everyone achieve an everyday look.
I feel like this isn't right, but this is what we're doing.
And pull off the classiest attire.
Could you think of a more perfect dress for me to wear on my birthday?
I mean, the girl's got style, and she's helping her followers find their own style.
You have to be comfortable enough with yourself and your style to appreciate other trends or other styles.
Hannah is keeping it real on TikTok.
Let's get ready to go for a run. I don't remember the last time I went for a run outside.
All while staying super fashionable. At number 2, Christiana, aka Bad Brown Skin.
Let's jump into what I would wear as a curvy woman wedding guest edition.
From wedding guest dresses to swimwear.
Oh yeah, I like this one a lot better. Okay, let's accessorize.
Christiana is helping every woman love the skin they're in.
But one thing that being curvy my whole life has taught me is that I have to work twice as hard for half the recognition. And baby, I need way more than half.
Christiana is giving us the green light to be extra when the occasion calls for it.
And this is giving like extra brunch. Like I'm here to make a statement.
And no matter what, she says to always be confident in who you are. Fierce. Are people still saying that? And third on our TikTok fashion experts list, Style Hard, aka Fashion Mom.
It's your fashion mom teaching you another life lesson that only a mother could.
Maytal Algranti studied fashion coordination and styling and is now sharing her fashion wisdom with all of us.
Let me introduce you to the French tuck.
She even tells us what fashion mistakes to avoid.
Starting with way too much jewelry.
And teaches us how to make our fashion deals look like luxurious items.
Let's do another bougie on a budget.
Very luxe, not many bucks. We love it. And those were a few fashion TikTok experts you should be following for all things fashion. Lots more to come on the list. Stay right here.
We're back, and on today's watch list, we're celebrating Dirty Dancing. The beloved 1980s film starring Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey turns 35 this year. So we're looking at the music and the magic that's made it a true classic.
It's been 35 years since Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey had us dreaming of summer romance.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Dirty Dancing is one of the greatest love stories and one of the greatest sleeper hits in Hollywood of all time.
Angelique Jackson, senior entertainment writer at Variety, takes us back to the 80s to highlight the best of this beloved classic.
This is a coming-of-age story that everyone can relate to in some way, and it's a beautiful way to remember the legacy of a great actor like Patrick Swayze.
No.
Let's begin with its success.
Just listen to me. The steps aren't enough. Feel the music.
Dirty Dancing was one of the highest grossing films of 1987 and has earned over $200 million worldwide at the box office. Huge numbers despite not having big names leading it.
They weren't the megastars that we know them today. They were these kind of two young people who are on, like their characters, the precipice of something.
The actors earned Golden Globe nominations for delivering performances where their on-screen chemistry was undeniable.
Where's my pleasing arc? Spaghetti arms. Would you give me some tension, please?
Part of the reason that Patrick and Jennifer's chemistry seems so natural on screen is because the director allowed them to improvise a lot on set.
One memorable example is their lover boy scene.
How you call your lover boy?
Come here, lover boy.
They were just kind of messing around as the scene was getting going, and they decided to keep it in the movie. All of the scenes in which they were learning how to dance were very real.
Authenticity that worked because the film's music and moves became iconic.
Now I had the time of my life.
Its soundtrack is one of the best-selling albums of all time. It has been and continues to be one of the most played records ever.
It included the Oscar-winning hit I've Had the Time of My Life, a song featured in the ending scene that gifted us one epic dance move.
This is something that lives in dance history. This was a movie that was intended to show the range and breadth of dancing, what it is that makes dance such a universal language.
We're celebrating the enduring legacy of Dirty Dancing on the watch list.
Okay, great movie and one of the greatest quotes of all time. Nobody puts baby in the corner. I don't even know what that means, but it's memorable.
Jimmy, it literally means nobody puts baby in a corner.
But the table is round.
But she's in. You know what? You just think about that for a second. Coming up next, in the age of TikTok, no trend goes unnamed anymore. Last on our list is next.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for what's last on our list. And KG, have you noticed all the big societal working trends the past few years?
Oh, yes. There have been so many. First, there was the Great Resignation when everyone quit their jobs during lockdown. Then, of course, the Great Regret when everyone looked at their bills and wished they hadn't quit their job, right?
Whoops.
Then, of course, quiet quitting is the latest, where employees emotionally check out and they do the bare minimum of their job description.
Okay, well, quiet quitting has been met with quiet firing.
Oh, right.
Right,
yep.
where bosses purposely make an employee miserable so they'll quit.
Oh, yes. Okay. Heard of that one too. So what is your point?
I do have a point. People have been quitting jobs and regretting it forever.
Right.
People have mailed it into jobs they don't love forever. There have been bad bosses forever. I don't think any of the trends are new. I think the only trend here is the trend of naming stuff that goes on all the time, whether you give it a name or not.
Okay, well, that's interesting. I feel, though, in order to get any traction on what you're talking about, of course, you're going to have to name it so then a hashtag can go in front of it. So what do you got?
How about the stop naming everything trend?
It's kind of naggy. Let's try something else.
Fine, I'm naming it Bob. I have a brother, Bob. Bob. My observation is Bob.
I mean, I think it's catchy. Hashtag Bob. We'll see what happens. And that's what's last on our list, friends. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Tomorrow on the list.
Jimmy, what are you trying to do here?
Make your workout work for you.
There you go, come down, now drive up, boom.
And what rising interest rates mean for your credit cards.
You may want to revert to cash for the short term.
Plus,
you make women blossom. They need you.
We preview the new fall TV season.
People are gonna start to talk.
Oh, let them talk.
That's tomorrow, right here on the list.